Hello, my friends. So, welcome back to Studioloo. It is Sunday share day at last. I have been like squirreling away 8 bajillion things, and this is going to be kind of a part heads up shop update video, as well as just some other kind of what have I been up to stuff. And I had a couple of things that I saved that I wanted to show you, and I completely lost them, like just things that I thought were cool that I found online. So I apologize, I lost them. I will be more sentient next time with that kind of thing. So anyways, I'm going to start with just like what I've been doing recently, I think maybe. So latest in my my book of firsts, my nature journal, my journal for this year. So I showed you, I think, like a good amount of January last time, and I think this is where I probably left off. So I found this really nice verse, and I can't accredit it to anyone. It had just said that it was you know, a verse. It didn't tell me where it came from, but it was really nice. It said, "This morning, I look out at thick snow, knowing there is clover beneath. Part of honoring nature, honoring a world bigger and wiser than me, is that I don't hold back hope to the limits of my own sight." So that poem really influenced me the last time that we had a bit of snow, to take a nice walk and do sort of a bud study. So I have just pencil drawn. I plan to watercolor these in: the basswood, the American beech, the tulip tree, the bur oak, the black walnut, black cherry, staghorn sumac, and sugar maple, which are all near and dear to me. I've written out the names of the genus, and I will be probably going over this in a permanent micron, and then watercoloring it once I have a little bit of time. So other things that happened: we saw the first house sparrow at our bird feeder. There was a fire and ice festival near us at Alton Mills. However, it was we ended up not going. I really wanted to go. It's this really cool festival. So they build like a large wooden, like scrap wood kind of sculpture each year. They set it on fire. They have ice sculptures and carving and all these different events and vendors and such. But it's become an event that, like, you know, you need to pay to get in, and you need to, well, it's a donation, but like you don't want to be, you know, rude in your donation, of course. And so it just didn't feel worth it this year, and I knew it was going to be a mud pit going there, and I decided with the kids, I was just like, I don't want to do it this year. And I feel like a total loser for not going, but like it would have been such a mess that it wouldn't have been what I want it to be. And I want to take them, because they haven't, my daughter went when she was really little, but I want to take it when it, like, take them when it's magical, when it's cold and snowy and we have a good year for it. So I'm really hoping next year that we have a good year for it. Although, you know, Candlemas, if they say if that, you know, it's rain, then winter is not to come again. So we have a very gray and rainy day today, and I'm not sure if we're going to get another snow, and I'm really hoping we do, because I want to go tobogganing. I'm like so sad I haven't got to do any tobogganing really. So I am I went to see Wonka with my daughter. She went sledding. These are the way that I fill in when I don't do a lot of writing, kind of my pages, just pictures of my family and my dogs and things. And then this past week of January was when I just wasn't making videos. I was blacked out to the world. My work was totally bananas. It still kind of is, but not so bad. And I found this verse that kind of got me through, by R.M. Drake. "Do not lose hope. Please believe that there are 1,000 beautiful things waiting for you. Sunshine comes to all who feel rain." So I have another blank page here, and my idea for this is I want to go through and incorporate kind of natural and, you know, sort of pagan type holidays and things that I can do a little studying on for incorporating them in my family's holidays a little more. So then we move into February. And so today we had sun and that was great. And I'm starting to see the Canada geese who still do migrate. The numbers of geese who migrate have gone considerably down, although my friends in Florida would say, no, they haven't. But I think there are just a lot of Canada geese. And they're starting to return. I've seen so many honking V's in the air of these guys coming back. I've made a little to-do list thing for myself, and I saw this. I'm gonna add some color and things to it, but it's this little diagram that my girlfriend shared. You made it through. So it shows you here the winter solstice is December 21st. There was November 16th to January 22nd. That was that whole period, the darkest weeks of the year. We're through it. We are through it. So I think that is where I've gotten. Oh, and I added a little major flyways of Canada geese here, and added, it's a leap year this year, so we have 29 days in February, and I've added a little, hey, I saw my first geese returning from migration, so that's my first for this week. By the way, I also have been using brown pen, and this is a Pentel Energel 07. And this is a lovely pen. If you're looking for a nice writing pen, a nice gel, I got inspired to use brown in this journal because Edith Holden, her books, it's written in brown. And I just think there's something that's just in my head that's nostalgic about that brown. So I'll also show you, in case you missed my video, I do like just a sort of digital kind of quick video reel of my Journal Together kit, but I wanted to just give a little recap of it here really quickly, because I know some people don't quite know what the heck I'm talking about when I just write, hey, Journal Together kit. So once a month on my Patreon, the first of every month, I release a kit that's between 15 and 20 pages typically of images that I've curated, things like this, that is a vintage photograph that I've purchased and I will scan. They're typically from the 1800s or very early 1900s. As well as my own illustrations, other vintage things that I buy and share, art that I have purchased license to, things that I've been working on for creative projects or that I do for this project, little things that I did these little love letter. He loves me not. She loves me not. I should have done a they. I wasn't thinking pronouns. I should have done that. My apologies to anyone who felt left out. So that being said, it's a really fun kit. It's available to all paid tiers of my Patreon, and that is one benefit that you get during the month, depending what level you're on. We have other fun things going on. We have a monthly playlist. There's stuff. I won't go on forever. I'll just kind of quickly show you. So this was February. I put a little bit of the things you think about in the month I add, but I still keep it eclectic. So I did add a little Valentine's feeling. So this is the baby son of Venus. This is a vintage illustration. It's part of a kit that I'll be working on actually with that illustrator. That's an antique illustration kit I'm going to be putting together. This is a very old book illustration from the 1800s. This little feather, this little house illustration with a mouse and this green onion, this girl with a bubble in front of her face. This is an old casino advertising ad, and this lovely bat on a dark sky. This is some mixed media, and this little bird. I've been thinking a lot about house sparrows because they visit me each day at my bird feeder. This tag here, we've had a lot of dark and rain, and I think I was feeling a little influenced with these illustrations. This little tattered heart because I've been doing more stitching and I'm just feeling a little stitchy. And then this is a vintage Valentine. This little angel woman, kind of just a fun little starry celestial feeling thing. This is a vintage illustration of the peccary, and a little envelope with some roses, just some little fun button flowers, and another vintage photograph. This one's really fun because it's got this little girl, but this lady has a lion cub, I think, in her lap. It could be a cheetah, but it looks like a lion. It just looks a little spotty to me, but yeah, very interesting. And then we have an old invoice here from 1935, and a vintage cabinet card of this beautiful lady, and a little cat sun and a dog with a light post. a little bit of spring peeking through. I'm feeling like I'm ready for spring. I think it's the Book of First, the nature journal, that is really making me feel like, let's get into spring. There's going to be so many exciting firsts. And then this little crow, it's like it would be a really good little "this book belongs to" kind of label. And then this illustration of my little friend that visits me every day. He's like these little chickadees there at my bird feeder, and we have some little illustrated donuts, some mushrooms here, and then this is another antique cabinet card. So I did this little doll here, just a simple little doll in these reds and pinks. I was really feeling a lot of red and pink right now, so she's a little bit different. And another of those tags with this dark kind of sky, and an angel here, another antique illustration, and some florals. Another of my little dolls, done in the same style but a little bit different than the other one, and then this more full illustration with mushrooms and these little girls. This is a cow. It's been painted. It's an oil painting, and then we have this little deer friends that are super cute. And then maybe for the darker Valentines in us, these little skeletons. And this is a really beautiful image of a house that's been very painterly oil painted, and some lovely a tea set, and a little crow there. And then this Jane Robinson verse, Radium Mother, 1903. Marie Curie's cookery book is so radioactive, they say, it must be locked in a lead box. We should wear protective clothes, white bodyalls, helmet, mask, lid gloves to open and see. The garlic stains, soup splashes, crushed and stirred and served by her glow in the dark hands. Interesting, right? Makes your brain kind of think about, like, you know, what it would be like to be her. And it also made me think about cooking and you know, all of the marks that we leave on our cookbooks. And I have all these old cookbooks, and I was thinking about doing something with that verse, and yeah, I'll get there. I don't have time yet. This little girl fishing in a little fish boat and a couple little hearts, and these fun dramatic eyes. A couple more of those little hearts, and then my little heart person here, because you need a little heart person in February, I think. And then some florals, simple little florals. This is from some vintage advertising, this bit here. And then these little watercolor hearts and more botanical, simple botanicals. This big yellow painterly house, and then this kind of image of a moon girl sort of sinking behind the trees, again a little darker. This is some more vintage advertising. It says odds and ends. And then these 2 pages here of sort of a Valentine's kitty cats kind of theme, inspired by my girlfriend Jen, who's always wearing her kitty cat headphones. So these girls, and then the hearts and houses, a vase for some of these little plants, little cats, and some more little hearts that you can fussy cut for fun little things, maybe Valentine's. And then a full page yellow and green botanical, because spring is coming. It's coming. So that is the kit with a little bit more chatterbox from me. Let me show you something I'm working on, and then we'll get into the shop stuff, or a couple things I'm working on. Okay, so I've got the, if you watched my design team project, the journal cover. So I finished the journal cover by doing some slow stitching. There are photographs of this on my Instagram so you can get a better look. So I took some blue, pink, and yellow and did the slow stitching on this. I'm sorry, this basket is over here in the way, but I'm going to need it in a moment. So this was created with my shabby jelly roll as the background. I think they're really wonderful for starting your own slow stitch project. If you need a quick base for a slow stitch project to get that collaginess done for you, it's a really nice way to do it. And I think it's really pretty, and I absolutely love how these digitals from the Junk Journal Studio came out on these transparencies. So I just added the backing yesterday, I guess. This is going to be my inside. And then I've printed the journal pages and decided this is going to be 4 signatures. Now these are just the digital pages. I will show you a little bit more in my next design team video, but for now I've just printed front and back the journal pages. I have to add the other papers that are going to go into this book. I'm probably going to do another video or 2 on this journal because I want to create some fun folios and I have a bit of an idea. I just need to add the closure strap to this, but I'm not going to do it until a little bit later, so I kind of know how I want to do it. Then I can show you this. So I spun this yarn. It's for someone specific. It's for a project, but yeah, it's really squishy and lovely, and it's got these little red flowers in it, and the colors are scrumptious, and it's got these lovely little Wensleydale beautiful locks. I hand dyed all this wool myself, and I'm really happy with how this yarn turned out. It's like so buttery soft. Oh my goodness, I just love it. And so now let's reskein it again. I should show you how to skein a yarn, but I can't do this in this small window. But essentially you just wrap it around both your hands and you twist, twist, and then you bring it back on itself. And then you pull it into the end and just kind of give it a little bit of a wiggle and a little scrunch. And then you have yourself a sweet little skein of yarn. Okay, so I have finished 4. I need to work on week 5 of 52 flags. I'll try to give you the quick update of where I am. Let me get in frame. So first 2 are here. And then this is my latest one. So this one was a message in a pocket. This one is, what's it called? Like invisible or visible mending, right? Weaving. This one is layers and a button, I think. And then this one was a window. And I'm going to work this weekend on the next one, which is trapped. So you have to trap something, and I have an idea already for that. So I'm just keeping these in this little basket right here each week. Then I finally, isn't this bag amazing? It's this David Bowie fabric. I got this at Maryland Sheep and Wool years ago from, it was made by Andy. I forget her last name, but she sold her stuff at this, which press group is it? It's Shannon from, I forget. I'm so bad with people's names and business names sometimes. So sock number 1 for my daughter is done. This is my lumberjack colorway that I made while I was in Quebec for a twist festival or for a vacation. I can't remember which. And I was hanging out with my girlfriend Amelie, who owns the store Wool in just outside of Saint-Andre-Avelin in Quebec. Near the, she's also the organizer of the twist festival. And so I have cast on the cuff for sock number 2. And I'm going to putter right along on this. I've got to get this done in February or I am in big trouble. Because, yeah, I want to start knitting again. And I'm like, I've taken such a break from some things to do other things, which is a good thing. But, you know, I still want to like use up my yarn and do stuff. So let's talk about shop update. So if you're seeing this video, these things have already been posted. I did it today. I didn't want to wait like, you know, until I had like shown you because I just really had to get it done. I think I need to back out a little. Just give me one moment. Actually, no, I won't, because I'm going to show you paper next and I want you to see the details. So these are 2 of my shabby jelly rolls. So these are lace and fabric scraps, different scraps of lace. There's trim, like right here, you see that fun little pink trim, and they have a theme of kind of like shabby colors, a shabby feel. These are amazing for creating tabs. That's what I did my journal cover with. This was the backing of my journal cover. This one has lacy wool in it. It's beautiful. And yeah, they're really useful for all sorts of projects. You can ruffle them down the side of your page. If you're a member of my Patreon, I did do a tutorial on how to make these, but I know that some people also just like to purchase them because they don't have a bunch of fabric materials, possibly they don't sew, and they just want something to, you know, add to their journals. These These ones are all textile. There's no paper in them. In the past, I have added vintage book spine into some of them. These are all fabric and lace and wool. And when I say wool, I mean this woolen lace. So these are my own kind of invention jelly rolls. They're not like your standard jelly roll of fabric. I wouldn't use them in quilting unless you're looking, you know, for an art piece. They're not like, you know, going to be measured evenly. They vary between 1.5 and 3 inches in width. So that being said, they're in my Etsy shop. And last time I posted them, they went pretty quickly. So hopefully you guys will like them. So let's take a look at all the paper we've been making. I've got my this is the second, I think, post of paper that I've done. So this is Storms and Splashes, and I'm going to leave the paper clips in place. So these are foolscap sheets, and when they're shipped, I fold them like a folio in half because it would be hard to ship them like whole size. There aren't good ways to ship that without them getting bent. So this one, Storms and Splashes, is called so because on side one, actually I'll take the paper clip off. Side one is the stormy webbing. I get this really beautiful webbing effect. It's like this color is like a grayish purple, and there's, you know, variances here. Like this one has little bits of yellow, and then the back we do splattering, and the paper itself is like a speckled gray. So there's variance in these sheets. So I'll show you, like I'll just kind of do a quickie kind of like flippy through of a few of them. So you see the variance. There's the really stormy kind of, you know, stormy bit. So yeah, these are really fun. So that's Storms and Splashes. These are sold in 12 pages, like 12 packs. Everything that's not copy paper sized is sold in a 12 pack. Anything that is copy paper sized is a 20 pack. So then we have Frosty Windows, and I have a few of these. These turned out really pretty. So they're lace, but the color I think is what really makes them. And I called it Frosty Windows because it just really reminds me of like when your windows ice up, you know? So there's a bit of variance with these as well. Each sheet is different. They're all hand dyed, right? So you're going to get a bit of variance. The back sides of these, that's a little piece of plant material because I was doing some plant dyeing. You're going to get some of the fun webbing as well. That's what you mainly get on the back, is a bit of webbing, a bit of this kind of wash, but you still see the impression of the lace. It's just not as colorful as on the front. But I think in a journal, it's kind of like your front side and back side anyways. And I think most of the time when you get lace-dyed paper, if not all of the time, that's what it's going to look like. You're not going to have it be the same on both sides. So we have 1, 2, 3 of those available. Then Stormy Lace. So I am a yarn dyer, and one thing that's in my practice is being very specific with your dye lots. Okay, so like I give something a new individual dye lot name if it's different in any way, really. Then like if I did one batch but one was more saturated than the other batch, then they're 2 separate colorways. And it's a little different to do that with paper than yarn, because the reason you do it with yarn is when you're knitting or crocheting a project or weaving or whatever, dye lot's very important, because, you know, think about knitting a sweater. You're knitting the body, you cast on, or you start with a new ball of yarn, and that shade is slightly darker. It's going to show up. This isn't as anal retentive probably, but it's just my practice, right? So this I'm calling Stormy Lace. And the reason why is because, like, so we're doing different experiments. So we still used lace here, but we muted it a little more, and we played with the paper a little more, so it's more stormy. It's got more of this webbing. So you've got lace there, but you've also just got this stormy look to it. Some will have a little more lace, and then the storminess, like there's variance, right? So this one's almost like in reverse, you know, like it's sort of like you can see the lace there, but it's in a much more different way. So we're doing just different fun things. So that's why I call it stormy, because I feel like if you think of it like stormy with lace, then you know it's not just a lace pattern, right? It's kind of got lots of fun, different things going on, webbing and all of that. Okay, and there's 2 of those. Then this one again, this is Snow on a Frosty Window. So it's kind of like Frosty Windows, but we specific, so it's got the webbing, it's got the lace. The back side is more white. And it's got, even on the front side, some of these are more like this. So this is how snow comes into effect, right? So you imagine snow meeting that frost on your windows. And I know that this has a more gray purpley tone, but you know, this is fun and artful paper. That is that one. And there's only one of those ones. Okay. Then we get into the blues. So this is Ocean Lace Ledger, and there are 2 packs available. So this one is a vintage ledger that has orange and blue lines. It is not numbered, but see the tables there? It is a one-sided ledger. So the reason it's Ocean Lace Ledger is the color. The lace is on the front. On the back, you've got that stormy webbing kind of effect going on. There is randomness, bits of white that we've purposely left to make this fun. Yeah, so that is Ocean Lace Ledger. I actually made like names this time, so I wasn't writing it down as I was going. Oh, yeah. We get better, guys. We get better. This is Aquarius Geode. So I called it this because what we did was a low immersion. We still used lace, but we did a low dye immersion. So this looks to me more like a geode. So up here we've got this wash, and then down here we have this, you know, pattern. The back is webbed. This is dot matrix paper, by the way. And like, so they're going to be a little random. So the dot matrix paper is vintage. It has the sides intact. Every now and then you might get one that has a little bit missing, but not really. And you get really beautiful effects with the webbing and the wash on the back of the paper. So this paper is just really interesting for lots of reasons, right? Like, it feels like, you know, I don't know, it just gives me a lot of fun kind of vibes. I just thought it was really interesting. There's a bit of yellow that we introduced in this die as well. So that's Aquarius Geode. And there's only one of those because I did it as my last batch because I only had a bit of dye left and I wanted to try a low immersion. I'm going to do more low immersion. And then we have Tide Blast, which we had a fun time making. So we splashed the dye on one side, and then on back you're going to get that fun random webbing again. All that stormy kind of webbing. So it's kind of like an explosive batch of paper with a more muted tone on the back. Has little bits of yellow here and there. We're just kind of sprinkling and playing with dye. It's lots of fun. So that is Tide Blast. Okay. And the next one is Ice Cracks. So this one is a slightly different color, and it has both sides all that fun crackly webbing, and it really reminds me of the tiny little fine cracks like when you used to lay on the ice as a little kid and you would look at the ice up close. So that's why I called it Ice Cracks. So I have one of those. It's also the dot matrix paper. Then I have, I think, 2 or 3 Ornate Ocean. So these ones are a little bit lighter than that other blue, and they're called Ornate Ocean because we used lace, but we also washed them out, and on the back side you're getting that fun wash and webbing. So the lace pattern is very random. Each page is different, and this one's a little more washed out. Look at that. Isn't that really pretty? And then all those cracks. I think this is my favorite, like this, you know, crackly kind of feel is my favorite part of doing this. I think that's kind of my paper signature. Okay, so then we have Sky Cracks Ledger. This is that same vintage ledger with the orange and blue lines and the hole punching. This is a little bit darker in color. You can see those cracks there, and they're on both sides, and it's a little darker. There's little bits of yellow here and there, and we've left bits of white to keep the paper interesting. But you get these really interesting, fun, you know, webs going on and washes. So that is Sky Cracks Ledger. One of those. Then we have Sky in Reverse. So this is foolscap that was dyed in that sherbet tone, so it's yellow with bits of orange and bits of purple. And on one side though, we've added an overspray with this fine misting of blue, so it's like very kind of fine dotted, and you know, some places it's darker. Each one is individually brushed. Okay, then this is Storms and Splashes, and it's on dot matrix paper. So this one's really fun. See all that fun webbing? And I called it Storms and Splashes because, like, it's stormy. It's got some really gorgeous, like, you know, tones, but then there's also some splashing going on. So it's kind of random. Usually if one side is splashed, the other side is the webbing. Well, actually not usually, always. We don't splash both sides. We do the webbing on the other side. I'll try to go through these quickly. This is Sunshine Whisper. So this is dyed in a bright yellow, and we've used the lace. You see it kind of subtly. It's coming through in the orange and mauve tones. This is a really pretty one. It came out very nice and subtle. Like, not everything has to be so, you know, in your face all the time, right? So one side will have that sherbety effect, and the other will have a more subtle version of the lace. But it's really pretty. One of those. Then I have two of these. These are Clouds in My Coffee. So these were coffee dyed, and they have a bit of yellow in them too, because I added just a little bit for color, but I mostly kept it quite coffee with just like swirls of the yellow. You see how it swirls? And then on the other side we did the airbrush of blue. So there's two of those ones. And then I have 4 packs of the Grunge and Sunshine Ledger. So this one's fun. So it was dyed yellow, then it was coffee spray grunge dyed, and it's got the bits of the pink in behind it that kind of breaks through the coffee. So these are really grungy and fun. Like, look at them from the side. They're just lots of fun. Kind of a bit of that webbing, but more kind of almost coffee stainish. Okay. And then I have 2 sherbet ledger. This is a different ledger paper, also 3-hole punched in the same size. I have the dimensions on all the Etsy listings. This is red line with numbering across and down the side, and they're sherbet. They are yellow with like the, see that orange coming through, and that's on both sides. The ledger is on one side, but the die it comes through both sides. Okay. Then Sherbet Shine. So Sherbet Shine I have 2 of. These have a pink overspray that kind of shines. They are dyed in yellow sherbet with that bit of orange coming through. And then they have an overspray of just a gentle pink. They're really pretty. 2 of those. And then I have one of these. This is Sherbet Borealis. And so I dyed the paper in the bright yellow tone, with a little bit of the orange, and then we daubed bits of the gray crackled dye, and so you get these very like borealis type, you know, look to the paper. And the back is like just a more muted version of the front, and I think that's pretty cool. This is one of my favorites, I think. This one's very spacey. So yeah, it's really fun paper. And I only have one of those on the foolscap. Then I think we're almost done. I think I might have one more to go in the paper. Sorry, this is so long, guys. I didn't get a chance to do a share last week. So this is Solar Flare. This one's really fun. You've got blasts of yellow and then the webbing in purple and orange coming through. This is also one of my favorites. Look at that. Like, it's just really cool effects. So yeah, Solar Flare. And that's all the paper. So that is already all posted in my Etsy shop, I believe. I think I got it all up there. I didn't want to have to wait to show you because it would have taken forever. So now, last thing I have to show you is what's coming. Let's just fumble them all over here. So in my next, like, hopefully my next update, there's going to be yarn minis again. So look, I have been spinning. I've been making these little babies. And so yeah, there's going to be bundles that I call them my pack of sweets. So these are my hand spun yarns, and they're going to be coming in little packs very soon. There's a couple people who've contacted me about these, and I will pop you a message before I post them so that I can fulfill what you're looking for. But I want to make more of these. I just want to keep spinning. I'm really loving getting back into spinning my yarns again. So that is it, I think, for me for now. Sorry if it was a lot of paper. It was very wordy, but I'm just really enjoying making all this paper. It's so fun, and I'm loving it. I'm going to be using it in my journals coming up. You're going to see a little more of it so you can see it in use. If you have any questions or anything, let me know, and I hope you're doing really, really well, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye for now.